Hello and welcome to Parks Training Videos. Today we're going to cover a very controversial topic, e-collars, otherwise known as electrical collars or shock collars. So you may notice that these type of collars are used pretty regularly in some higher up training, hunting dogs, police work, military dogs. They really rely on these collars, but that doesn't mean that we as everyday people can't use these collars. But like I said, sometimes it can get a little controversial. So today we're going to go over the correct uses of an e-collar and how you can use this to really sharpen some of your dog skills. Now, what I like to talk about before jumping into putting an e-collar on your dog is your dog has to have a basic idea of the things you're going to go over before you put an e-collar on. So this is a really big correctional tool. And with that much power, you can easily ruin your dog in what they know. So always, when you're starting with an e-collar, you're gonna do basic things that your dog understands, and you're gonna use the lowest setting that you get the correction that you desire. So on this type of collar, I have 3 different settings. I have first a beep, which you may or may not have heard. Then I have a vibrate, and it'll vibrate the dog. And then I have a shock. This remote has 16 different shock settings. In the very beginning, I'm gonna start at number 1 and move up as my dog either ignores it or doesn't get the full correction that I'm looking for. But when I'm first introducing it, I'm only gonna use the beep, okay? So, if I am looking at my prongs here, you might notice my prongs are a little bit longer than the stereotypical prongs. So if you wanna kind of zoom in here and look. So I use prongs, so these prongs are usually what you find on a shock collar. These are extenders. The reason I have extenders on my shock collar is I have a dog with a lot of fur. So all that fur on the neck is gonna act as protection, which is not a bad thing, but if I'm making a correction with an e-collar, I want them to feel it. So by having these extenders, they feel it at the lowest setting, which is my goal to make this an ethical training type of demonstration, okay? So if I'm holding this e-collar, I'm gonna actually see how high of a setting I have to have before it actually shocks me. So right now I have it on setting number 2. I don't feel anything. Setting number 3, I don't feel anything. Setting number 4, whoo, little bit of a tingle. Setting number 5, whoo, automatic jump, okay? So, did you see how long it took me to actually get a reaction? And it wasn't an ouch, it was a tingle and like an involuntary handshake, okay? That's the same thing your dog's gonna feel. So if I have a reaction at 5, I'm gonna start my dog back at 1, but like I said, we're gonna start with a vibrate first. So I love to use these type of collars to make corrections on dogs when I'm gonna be doing a skill that I can't correct them from a distance. So my number 1 probably example of that would be a recall, okay? A recall is when your dog is far away from you and you go outside, you say your dog's name here, and either they're gonna come to you or they're not. And I'm gonna say 75% of the time most dogs come, but what if it's the one time they see a squirrel, they see a kid, they take off running? So an e-collar is a really great way to get a really solid recall from a distance. When you're relying on a leash, your dog knows they have a leash on, so you can only make corrections with a leash. But if they're off leash on a recall, that's when you want to get some sort of correction. So in the beginning here, I'm just going to show how I would start off using an e-collar. So Blaze here is 3 years old. She knows everything that we're going to be going over. And like I said, I'm basically going to use a beep or a vibrate and move up in shocks as she doesn't listen if she needs it. So right now I'm going to have my leash just to remind her what we're working on. So Blaze, sit, sit, sit. Okay, so I helped her into it a little bit because she was watching to see what we're going to do next. Okay, so Blaze, heel. Great, she's staying with me. I'm gonna make a turn, Blaze, heel. She's staying right with me, okay? So I'm gonna drop my leash. So now we're off leash, she can go anywhere she wants, Blaze, heel. Okay, so she wandered off. I beeped her and she came back. Blaze, heel. Good, Blaze, heel. Stop. Great, so my dog listened with just a beep, so I didn't need to go up into any sort of shocking, but remember my dog has done this before. So in the beginning, you might take a little bit, I might be working up to get her to listen, but then I'm gonna back off to only what's needed. And with my dog, only what's needed is a beep. So now I'm gonna work on our recall. So this is what you can be working on in your backyard, in the park, okay? You take your dog's leash off, Again, this is a dog that knows what a recall is, okay? She's gonna start wandering off, great. So she's kind of wandering off there. I'm gonna act like I'm not paying attention. Place, here. Sit. Good girl. I did not have to do a thing, okay? So once I said my dog's name, she looked at me and she came. Now, if she would have looked at me and not came, I would have beeped her. If she would have ignored me again, I would have vibrated her. Then I would have started buzzing her, okay? But like I said, she knew exactly what I wanted. So Blaze, okay. So I'm just using my release word. She can wander off and do what she wants. Great, she's gonna go sniff over there. Blaze, here. Sit. Good girl. All right, so my dog's not being very difficult today, but that's actually really good because I got this recall by using one of these. Now, to really check if you're gonna have a solid recall, say you've been working on this for weeks, months, take the collar off. See how fast she ran away? She knows the collar's off. You should still get the same reaction. Blaze, here. Sit. Here, sit. Good girl. All right, that is our goal. That is why I love these collars, because it can be the difference between my dog running off and getting ran over and them learning to listen to me. With this collar, they realize that they can't ignore me no matter the distance. If you have any questions on these, or you do your research about them, you can always call Parks Veterinary. We can talk you through some great brands and even show you how to fit it on your dog. So thank you for watching our e-collar video today.